But first, we want to share with you some overnight news. Two families are without a place to stay this morning after a fire breaks out at a northeast Albuquerque apartment. Fire crews on the scene tell us it started in an upstairs unit around 2:30 this morning at a complex near Wyoming and Spain. The unit was vacant and the fire spread to the apartment next door. Now, crews were able to get the fire out quickly, but there was some smoke and fire damage to the other apartments. No injuries were reported, and the Red Cross was called out to help the families who were displaced. The cause right now is still under investigation. What to do about the Paseo I-25 interchange project and the funding it needs? Still a major issue and still no resolution. Albuquerque City councilors held a special meeting last night to talk about how to pay for it, but they'll need to meet again for further discussion. Our News 13's David Romero is live in the Newsplex with more on last night's issue. So, David, break it down for us. What are they thinking about doing here?
Well, Elizabeth, they are trying to see if the issue could still go before voters in the upcoming November election. That decision has been put off for another meeting. Lawyers are now questioning the idea of two different ballots appearing in the same election. They say this could open the door for potential lawsuits down the line. Now, there was also another attempt to bypass the issue coming up in the election by councilors approving the $55 million project themselves. That also failed. The council will meet again on September 5th, but Councilor Isaac Benton thinks it could be more of the same.
In my expectation, it'll be the same as what we voted for before, so we will have wasted a lot of time instead of going and trying to work it out.
The City Council needed a majority of 7 votes to authorize the bond themselves. Elizabeth, back to you.
All right, thank you, David. A city spokesperson, by the way, told News 13 that they would wait until after last night's meeting to comment about any plans for a special election on the funding issue. The Montano Bridge is causing a lot of traffic jams. We're talking where the art project is, you know, the one which cost you, the taxpayer, more than $100 grand. Well, guess what? After a year, it's already coming apart, and now it could cost even more to fix. Thousands of drivers, bikers, and hikers pass through the now shedding Montano Bridge. The city's biggest mural got a facelift last summer after 14 years, 55,000 squares in 2 months, and traffic along the Montano Bridge was snarled as painters worked. The total cost, $122 grand from the city's public art fund. But now flakes are flying off the cement, littering nearby walkways.
It had a clear coat put on it, and unfortunately the clear coat is not sticking.
Now, the art program manager says the local painter is working with the city to come up with a solution. If they have to, she says, the contractor will repaint and insists traffic won't be affected again. And it should cost you anything. It shouldn't cost you, I should say, anything, according to the city. The city did have a warranty with the local contractor, so the company, we're told, should pick up most of the cost of the job if they decide to, in fact, repaint. We could learn the names of the victims today in what police are calling a suspicious death investigation in southeast Albuquerque. We first told you about this yesterday morning as breaking news. All police are saying right now is that alcohol appears to be a factor in a fight between 2 men off of Cougar Lane near Wantabo and Central. They say a short time after the argument or altercation, 1 man was found dead. Investigators are now trying to figure out if the victim died because of the fight. The other man is being questioned and has not been charged with a crime yet. The first day of school wasn't the same for friends of 2 cheerleaders who were almost killed in a car crash. The teens are making progress 1 month later. 16-year-old Jessica Sanchez and Lily Pickard are still recovering from a nasty wreck that happened 4 weeks ago on Paseo del Norte near Trimeway. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, but deputies say Sanchez and Pickard were not wearing their seatbelts and were thrown from the SUV. The teens suffered severe brain trauma and were in comas for weeks. The 2 were on everyone's mind at school yesterday as they both now are showing some signs of improvement.
Jessica was able to give a thumbs up, and Lily stuck her tongue out at the doctor 5 times.
The next phase of their recovery will include rehab, first locally, then up in Denver, where they will be treated by some of the best doctors who specialize in traumatic brain injuries. It's a family affair this morning in a New Mexico jail after officials say an inmate's family, listen to this, is caught trying to bring their loved one some drugs. The inmate is Aaron Hall, seen right here. Jail officials say his mother and 2 sisters are accused of trying to take drugs into the Springer Correctional Center yesterday. And get this, the family also had 2 toddlers with them at the time. The 3 women now face drug charges. Hall, by the way, is also expected to face new drug charges. A nationwide manhunt is going on this morning for a man from right here in New Mexico. An arrest warrant has been issued for Bobby Willis on suspicion of racketeering, fraud, embezzlement, and security fraud. You might remember Willis from a special assignment we did earlier this year. Willis was pitching an $8 billion project to build a huge veterans hospital complex in northwest New Mexico. But authorities say he had very little to show for it. According to the Farmington Daily Times, an arrest affidavit claims Willis bilked an investor out of more than $1 million.